Okay, moving to the next activity. Next is receiving. All items must be checked for quality whether it matches SPS. SPS here stands for Standard Purchase Specification. Whenever we are receiving activity, when it happens when we have already ordered something to a particular vendor, and now the time has come when he is transporting the particular item to your organization. When you receive it, make sure check that your items quality is according to your SPS which the organization has prepared, which a particular chef or management has prepared. Okay, for any particular item, for each and every item there will be SPS, Standard Purchase Specification. So this specification has to be checked, and then according to this specification we have to see whether the item which we have received is of the same quality or not. If it is of the same quality, you can receive it. If it is not of the same quality, it's inferior, then you have to return that particular item in this case. Okay. Ingredients must be packed as mentioned by supplier. Whenever we are purchasing something, they will always give us a sample, show us a sample, or they will specifically tell us that this particular thing will come in this particular type of packing. So when you receive that particular item and you find that that ingredient is not packed as mentioned by the supplier earlier, then in this case you need to return this item and tell them that there is something wrong with this item. It's not as you said. Okay, what are the chances? Chances are like maybe there is some adulteration, something somebody has stolen one of the item from there, and the supplier or the driver has done something wrong with the item, or anything can go wrong with it. So we have to make sure that it has to be packed in the same way as supplier has told us. Then items are procured from some vendor, from same vendor from where it was ordered. This is a very common case which happens when let's say you have ordered vegetable from XYZ company, and when a supply of that particular item happens, when you are about to receive it, you find that the supplier is ABC company. What does that mean? That XYZ company has outsourced that particular work from XYZ company, has outsourced his work to ABC company, and ABC is providing you that particular item which you have asked from XYZ. So what will happen? ABC company will not maintain the same standard which XYZ is maintaining. Okay, so there will be some changes in the product, there will be some changes in the quality. Even if they force you, they say no, we are serving you the with the same thing, the quality is same, you have to deny this because it's not correct. It will become a habit that your vendor will always send the thing from the other supplier. Okay, in emergency it might happen once or twice, but it should not be a regular practice. Then the item delivered on time and in right quantity. This is very important. Time is a factor which is very important. If you ordered something, you need it on a particular time. If you don't get it on that particular time, what's the use of it? You will not use it, you will just keep it, and it will get wasted because there is no use of that particular thing. For example, there's a event in your hotel, and which is about to happen a couple of days after. You have ordered around 100 kgs of tomatoes, okay, and the items are not delivered on time, and the person who is delivering you the item comes after 2 days, after the event is over, after 2 days of the after the event, he comes in and he says, okay, there, here's your 100 kgs of tomato. And if you receive it, what will happen? Because you don't have any event coming up, you don't have any your hotel is not busy, so what will happen with the tomatoes? You will keep it in the store, you will utilize that space to store them, you will utilize the equipment, you will utilize the power of electricity, everything to maintain it, the labors, everything, and in the end what will happen? You will not make any particular dish out of that, and it will get spoiled in the end. So it's a loss also through the company, and most important is when it's not served on time, it's of no use, so you have to deny in this case. Then temperature must be checked for cold items. If you are buying something which is supposed to be brought in a particular temperature which is less than 4 degrees Celsius, something like that, so make sure that you check the temperature, because if something which is not in the right temperature, we know very well that danger zone is from 4 degree to 63 degrees Celsius. If a particular item is brought and it says that it is 10 degrees Celsius, so what is happening? It's already in the danger zone. So chances are that it is spoiled or it is about to spoil. So make sure that the temperature of the item which you are asked, especially the cold items, are in the right temperature. Okay, moving to the next activity, storing. All dry items must be stored in dry containers at 18 inches height at least, which means whenever you have received some items can be dry or perishable, non-perishable, any kind of items. In this, dry items must be stored in dry containers, dry and airtight containers, and it should not be kept on the ground. It should be at least 1.5 feet above the ground. Why? So that the floor can be cleaned regularly. The insecticide, pests and all cannot enter easily into that particular container. So it is important that you clean it, you keep it in a dry container which is airtight and at least 1.5 feet or 18 inches above the height of the ground. Perishable items must be taken proper care and stored in refrigerator. Once you have received any perishable item, make sure you keep it in the refrigerator ASAP, as soon as possible. Okay. Then meat, poultry, fish, etc. must be stored separately. Why separately? Because meat, poultry, fish, these are first of all non-vegetarian items. Then they have a typical smell which can be transferred from these food items to the other items as well. So make sure that meat, poultry, fish, etc. these items must be always stored separately. Then strong smelling food items must also be stored separately. Like we have prawns. So prawn is a strong smelling item. If you keep it with some food item, what will happen? The other food item will hold the smell of prawn, and when you will be serving that particular food, even it's not prawn, but it will be smelling of prawn. Cooked food and uncooked food must be stored separately. This is also very important. If you keep cooked food with uncooked food, there is chances that in the uncooked food there are bacteria, there are many things, there are pests, pesticides. So these can be transferred from uncooked food to the cooked food, which will make it unsafe to consume, leading to food poisoning. If stored together, cooked food must be stored on top. In by chance, if you don't have any space to keep it, or there is no provision for it, then you make sure that you keep the cooked food item on top and uncooked item down. Then regular pest control must be done. This is also very important that you do regular pest control. Pest control will help you in avoiding all rodents, like rats, cockroaches, all these things, unwanted things which are not supposed to be in the food area. So make sure that when you do pest control, it is not affecting the food item, it's only affecting the unwanted things in the stores. Okay, the next activity is issuing. Whenever we issue anything from the stores, what we need to follow is FIFO or LIFO. FIFO is first in, first out. LIFO is last in, first out. Whatever things which have come in first must be moved out from the store first. Okay, so when mostly the FIFO is followed in this, LIFO is not always followed. It depends on a situation when you need to sell only when we have to issue items on LIFO base, but mostly FIFO is followed in the stores. So make sure you whenever how it can take place. See, when you have something in the stores, let's say you have some masalas, Indian spices, let's say turmeric is kept in the packets. Okay, so when a new lot come, mostly the practice is that the one which is kept, we'll push it back and the new one we'll keep in front. So what we need to do now in this case, the old one we need to bring in front and the new one we need to keep it back. So what will happen automatically? The old one which are kept in front will be issued and the new one which are kept back will be issued later. So this is a regular practice which need to be followed.